In games, decision making is everything. Should your character take damage? Should they survive with armor? Or maybe they have a shield. They could attack, dodge, run, or do whatever they want to do. Today, let's level up our if else knowledge and make smarter decisions in C Sharp. Sometimes a single if else isn't enough. What if we have multiple conditions to check in order? Introducing else if. Else if is a special combination of keywords that allows you to check for another condition before you write the else block. Let's look at that in code. Let's write a public int health equals 50 and a public int armor equals 20. These are our variables. Now let's check if the player has died based on the current health and armor condition. We first need to check for armor, right? Only after the armor depletes should the health go down. So if armor greater than 0, meaning we have armor, let's write an if block. This is standard stuff. Let's write debug.log armor absorbs the damage yo. This is straightforward. If there is armor, armor absorbs the damage. Now before we will write an else and then we check if health is greater than 0. We write health takes damage else debug.log you died. So this is how you would typically go with else and an if. This involves a lot of nesting, and if you want to add more conditions, for example a shield or something like that, or a health buff, then the nesting would get even more complex. So you would typically want to avoid that. And one way to reduce that is to use the else if statement. I'm going to remove this else and we are going to write else if. So this is like a secondary if condition. We can write a parenthesis and we can provide a condition inside it. It should be either a Boolean expression or a Boolean value. We can simply check for health greater than 0 and then debug.log health takes damage. Let's go through this thing step by step. If armor is greater than 0, then armor absorbs damage, yo. Else if health is greater than 0, that means health takes damage. Else. Now this is where the else comes in. There's nothing after else, so you write else if in between if and else. This should not be that complicated, I believe. We can write debug.log you dead yo. So what have we done here? Instead of having a nested if else loop, I'll put the screenshot on the right. We have basically cleaned it down to fewer lines of code. Now, once you get further and further into programming, you could probably get away with a single line of code. Okay, you don't even need this, but we are learning, and I want to build a solid foundation for you guys. Okay, now what is the advantage here? Now let's say you're adding something on top of armor, perhaps a shield. Now how would we deal with this situation? Let's write public bool shield equals true. Now this is how it would be without else if. If we have shield, then we print shield absorbs the damage, and then we set shield to false so that this doesn't repeat again. So the first time shield will be true, then the shield absorbs the damage, then shield becomes false. And the next time this code is run, assuming that this code will run again, shield will be false and then the else part will work. Okay, let me just make it clear. Start or whatever is inside these two curly brackets will not be called multiple times. This is just for an example. Normally we would write our own custom functions for holding this logic. Now else, we check if armor is greater than 0, then armor absorbs damage. Else we have an if condition to check if health greater than 0, then health takes the damage. Else we die. You can see there's a big nesting going on, and it will get more complicated the more things that you add. How can we improve it with an else if statement? So this is where we left off. We have an if, an else if, and an else. If you want to add a shield, you just need to make this if condition as an else if condition, and then write an if condition if we have a shield. And then we print you have a shield yo. Shield equals false. so that it doesn't repeat again, just for logic sake. We're not going to be calling this thing twice. First, we check if shield is true, then we have a shield and we set shield to false. And it will exit out immediately, else if it's not going to be run. Okay? And assuming there's the next time this code gets executed, shield will be false, meaning it will go to else if. So shield is false, then else if we check for armor, then we damage the armor, and if armor is 0 or less than 0, we then deal damage to health, and if health is less than or equal to 0, you dead yo. Because these else if blocks contain only a single line of code, you can get rid of these and then remove these empty lines of code, and there you go. In fact, you can even write them like this so that you gain a lot of space, but I personally don't recommend. And third-party code may write one-liners like this. Okay, now I have a challenge for you guys if you're up for it. Make sure that you followed along up until now. And now on the script, I want you to actually implement damage logic. Create a variable for damage, and then actually try to change or manipulate the health based on the armor, the shield, and the health. Try using operators, and based on the damage that you input, all of these values should decrease. That's a simple challenge for you guys. And if you're having any trouble, come to the Discord server. We'll have a chat. Cool. And in the next one, we'll take these skills even further with switch statements. I will see you there.